Good to see you, Jim.
It's good to be seen and not viewed.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Let's just start off with how you feel. Let's start off with that.
I'm doing all right. I'm getting better. You know, coming here this weekend is the celebrations made me feel better. But I still have a long road to go. But you know what? I'm better than I was a month ago, a lot better than I was 2 months ago. And I'll find out more near the end of this month when I have my first MRI since my chemo and radiation.
4 Super Bowls. Fought through all of those. Didn't come up victorious. But you're winning right now. And we're so proud of you, man.
I appreciate that.
Describe this fight because you're blessing and helping so many people.
Well, you know what? When I decided, well, I should say when I decided, my wife Jill and my daughter Erin decided to more make it public. I really didn't want everybody to know my business and what I'm going through because everybody has their own problems. And my wife said, Jim, there's a couple fold. Number one is we get more people praying for you.
That's right.
And number two is you can maybe help some people out there, whether it's kids or adults, more what they're going through. It didn't take me very long to realize that my wife was right again. But it is. It's a step that we took, and I'm glad we did because I'll tell you what, the prayers are definitely helping.
Yeah, Jim, in every turn that you have made, and whenever we see it on TV, those Buffalo Bills fans, they come out and they support you. Now, you gave them so many wonderful moments on the football field. What does it mean to you to see this kind of support at this moment in your life?
Well, it feels good. As you can see everybody back there, it's awesome. And as you well know, when you're going through tough times, you need people behind you. You need the support. When he talked about the Kelly Tough, it's not always the physical part of the Kelly for Tough. It's the mental part. Having people rally behind you, have people pray for you, have people that are thinking about you and saying that, you know, what they went through and some of the things that they went through, they related to you and maybe it can help us. So the Bills fans, the city of Buffalo have been behind me ever since, not only when I played, but when my son Hunter was diagnosed and he passed away, they were there for me. And now what I'm going through and our family's going through. So I can't ask for anything better.
Well, and the history of the enshrinement ceremony in this stadium, because they used to have it on the front steps. They used to have it on the front steps of the museum portion, but it had to be moved to the stadium one year because a certain quarterback who played in Western New York from Western PA came here, and the free world showed up. They couldn't hold it in the normal spot. They had to open the stadium, and now it's in the stadium every year. That was huge, Jim Kelly.
Yeah, but we have crazy fans, and I knew we were going to get 15 to 20,000 people here, and Andre's going to have about the same. And look at all these crazy people. They're here not only to watch football and to see Andre get inducted, as we all know it should have happened a while ago, but they're here to party. Buffalo is full of partiers, and that's why I probably like it. I come from a big family, and the Buffalo Bills party during our days. You guys were well known for your parties too, but we're from the U, so
Yes,
we know
sir.
what that's all about, don't we, Mike?
We know. Gentlemen, and let's talk about it. You talked about Andre Reed, and this is his day. And I was just talking to you and having fun talking about the first time I watched you and Andre Reed work out. Andre would run about 3 routes, then he'll give me one to get with you throwing, give me a run about another 3. I said, I learned so much because I said, Andre doesn't let anybody go with his quarterback. I'm going to do the same thing when I get my quarterback. Talk about those moments and Andre's work ethic and why is he a Hall of Famer?
Well, he's a Hall of Famer because, number one, the numbers tell it. Number two is probably one of the best run after catch guys, and you know that, and that ever's played the game. And number three, his work ethic was unmatched, and you saw it firsthand. Andre was one of those guys where Marv Levy didn't say you don't come to training camp to get in shape, you come to training camp in shape. Well, he never was out of shape. And if you see him today, he's still in shape.
That's a receiver thing.
That's the way Andre was. Andre worked very hard. He wanted to be the best. I think he had that little chip on his shoulder coming from Kutztown that really didn't go to any major colleges. But for him, he wanted not only to prove it to himself, but he wanted to prove to everybody else that he can make it, and he has.
What did this weekend mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. Number one, I'm able to make it here. I wasn't sure a month ago if this was going to happen. I know when Andre was selected to be a member of our great elite team, I hope to be here, and then the more I start getting closer, I go, I don't care what the situation is going to be. I will be here for Andre Reed and Buffalo.
What was it like? What was was it like last night, Jim, when you hugged him and he got the jacket and he was going through the gauntlet? The jacket ceremony night. What was that like for you and him, if you could describe it?
I told Andre, and I don't know what it was for you, Dion, or you, Mike, but for me, that's when I knew I made it into the Hall of Fame, is when I received that jacket. Oh. Tears flowed out of my eyes that day, last night. Tears were flowing out of my eyes last night when Andre received his jacket. And just the feel of he finally's here. He finally got what he so well deserved and all the hard work he put into it. And for me, knowing that I had a small part of his success made me feel good, and also made me feel good there's so many people that were cheering him on.
You know what? We was at a benefit recently, a couple years ago, rather, in New York. I just want to tell you, man, and I want them to know, you're a really good dude. No, you really are. And follow you and seeing what has transpired over Twitter, over social media, you're right. You got a lot of people praying for you. Not just because of what's going on, but you really are a good guy. And you blessed a lot of people, man.
Well, you know what? I was very blessed. I was brought up by, my mom and dad and 5 brothers in my family. And that's what my father always taught us, to treat people how you want to be treated. And I know that's a little cliche, but that's just the way it was in our world. My dad always said, when I left to go to the University of Miami, he said, son, remember, when you walk out of this house, when you walk out our door, you represent the Kelly name and don't tarnish it. And I always took that to heart.
Do you guys ever get together, all of you guys, the guys from that era, you, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, and Andre Reed, just get together and have a bite to eat, look around the table and think about, man, we went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Unheard of, never probably will be matched, never.
It won't, and we're proud of that. Yeah, we would love to win 1 or 2, but unfortunately we didn't. But the thing about it is, if you really think about it, the further we're removed from these games, I think the more people appreciate what we were able to accomplish, because the physical part, we know as football players and as athletes, you got to prepare yourself. But mentally, you never know what the guy beside you is going to be thinking. You have to always be ready for what's at hand coming up in front of you. And we always put those behind us and tried to make sure we focus on what we had in hand moving forward.
You encourage me, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
Kelly Tough behind us here. Good to see you, Jim.